Today I'm supposed to be talking about anxiety, but I'm getting anxiety thinking about talking about anxiety, which is a weird AF, but it is what it is. A lot of people don't really talk about it, especially, I think I can say the black community because I'm African American, but it may be across the board. I don't think anxiety has race, but I know for a fact a lot of people who have it don't talk about it. And I kind of wanted to break that cycle because, like, I have anxiety, like, bad. Like, to the point where I don't want to go to the store. I don't want to go anywhere there's other people. Like, I literally order my life. Like, everything comes to my house, like, from online. And it's crazy because, life is short. I want to enjoy my kids, my husband, like, go outside and do stuff, but my anxiety ain't having it. So just trying to cope with anxiety and have a productive and healthy life with anxiety has been very challenging for me. I got rid of it for 7 years actually. Then my brother passed away in March of 2021 in a car accident, and for the first like 4 months, I was fine. I guess he was planning stuff, dealing with court and all this other stuff, and I kind of I guess swept under the rug or wasn't feeling the grief. But once the dust settled, it really hit me like a ton of bricks, and my anxiety came back worse than ever. To the point where I can't enjoy a hot bath because I can feel my heart racing, and I'm like, sometimes it's not even racing, but I can feel my heart, and I'm like, I think if I don't feel my heart, that's a bigger problem than feeling my heart. But because I feel my heart, it freaks me out. I swear I wake up every day and I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack or a stroke, and I guess that's because that's the bigger organs, my brain, my heart. I have a pulse ox because I feel like I can't breathe. Matter of fact, let's just go through the contents of my purse alone. I have an EpiPen. I'm allergic to seafood and fresh fruit. That's it. But I carry EpiPen. I have Bayer aspirin. I've never been diagnosed with any type of like heart condition, but I don't know. I'm perfectly healthy, and I swear you can't tell me I'm not gonna have a heart attack. Um, I have a breathing pump. Now, I did have asthma bad as a kid. As an adult, it's kind of touch and go, and it's been years since I've dealt with it, but I still carry an emergency inhaler. I have Tylenol. I have Benadryl. I have Allegra D. Trying to make sure I have a pulse ox, that small pulse ox in my purse. I don't go anywhere without my Apple Watch so that I can like check my heart rate at any time, or as I'm walking, if it goes up, which it's supposed to do, it freaks me the hell out. So I'm trying to get past that and just live differently, and try to find comfort zones without medication, because it does alter your personality. It does alter your sense of peace. And I don't like medicine. And it's crazy because I carry all this with me and knock on wood, I've never had to take any because I literally don't like medicine. So it's weird because I've had CT scans, MRIs, everything, and blood work, and I'm perfectly healthy. But you can't tell me that something's not wrong, because I literally feel pain or some type of discomfort every single day. And it's hard to get people who have never experienced anxiety to understand that. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not playing. I really feel these things. I'm really in pain. I'm really freaking out. I'm really nervous. I've been in the grocery store and have a full-on anxiety attack, but thought I was having a stroke and had someone to call 911. Like, that's happened to me twice in a grocery store. And it's embarrassing. And they look at me and they're like, but you look fine. Like, what the fuck? Like, one day I even walked to the ambulance outside, and the EMS was like, what? There's nothing wrong. Like, you're wasting our time. And I'm like, but no, I can go any second. Like, I've told my husband so many times, like, I think I love y'all. Like, I think I'm about to go. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I feel like I'm going to pass out or just randomly die. And it's crazy. I do have a fear of death, even though I believe in God and I know that it's you can't avoid it. I think my brother passing away young, he was only 38. It kind of put it back in my face, like, oh shit, like, we can leave here any second and there's nothing you can do. So I think it kind of brought it back, up front for me. But I've been learning how to cope and to deflect. My mom is the bomb, like, cause she's really good at deflecting. I'll call her and I'm like, Mom, I'm having anxiety, I'm feeling this, and she'll let me break down everything I'm feeling. And then she'll be like, girl, guess who called me today? And like, just change the conversation. I swear to God, within 10 minutes, I don't feel anything. I don't remember that I call her about anxiety. Like, she lets me get out how I feel. and then she changes the subject so that I'm not fixated on it. And that helps me so much because she doesn't make me feel like I'm crazy. She understands me, and it helps me because I feel like I've gotten out my symptoms. So if something happened, someone knows exactly what's wrong with me. Like, I have told them my symptoms, so if shit goes south, they know where to start. And I know, like I said, I know, death is inevitable, and it's nothing you can do, but that makes me feel better. Even, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I'll tell her sometimes, like, oh, I feel this, and I'll move on with my day, but it makes me feel better that I've told someone how I feel, so if something happens to me, they'll know where to start. And guess what? I ain't shit happen because there's nothing wrong, but again, that's just how I physically feel. And the doctors are like, I don't get it. You're successful, you're married, you have kids, like what's the problem? And I'm like, my head fucked up. Like, I don't care how much money you have or what you do for a living or how many vacations you go on. If you don't feel right in your head, if you're not mentally strong, if you're not mentally stable, none of that shit matter. Like, and it's crazy because I will get on my computer and I will go to work. Like, I would nail, anything I have to do that day because my mind's occupied and I can get it done, no problem. But once I get off that computer, listen, it's a whole other ball game because I don't have anything to think about. I don't have anything to do. So I've taken up cooking. I love to cook. So when I finish working, I go cook. I like looking online, finding different restaurants. And we live in the South. We live in, on the West Bank of New Orleans. So there's a lot you can, cook here. So I just focus myself on cooking and clean up a lot. We're renovating the house, so I'm just keeping myself busy. But I just want people to comment below if you've experienced these things and understand, because to some people who've never dealt with it, I'm 110% sure I sound like a fucking psycho. But for people who have dealt with it, I feel like they will understand where I'm coming from exactly. And I forgot to add, I have a blood pressure cuff. I check my blood pressure all day long, because if I feel any type of way and my blood pressure is not right, that's a whole nother video. And I'm just trying to walk away from my crutches, because that's what it is. It's it's the things I do to keep me from walking into the emergency room and embarrassing myself again, because that's how it makes me feel. They're like, you're fine, we don't need to tell you. I had one doctor even fucking gave me a steroid shot, and I know he know nothing was wrong with me, I can tell, but he just wanted to give me something to soothe me, and in that moment it made me feel better. But after the fact, I was like, this motherfucker gave me a shot and wasn't nothing wrong with me. Like, once I calmed down and my anxiety went down, I was just like, wow, that's crazy. But it made me feel better in that moment, so I respect them for that. But the emergency room is not the place for anxiety, but that's your go-to if you feel like you're dying. And I just want the world to understand that we're not trying to waste anybody's time. But if someone is in panic and feel like their life is in jeopardy, what else do you want them to do? Antidepressants or anxiety suppressors, whatever they call that shit, look, I was on the mall this morning and I felt crazy as hell. I was like, fuck, I'd rather just feel whatever pain I was feeling. I'm going to go ahead and check my blood pressure at home, because this has me feeling like crazy and not myself. And I'm not crazy. People who have anxiety, you're not crazy. What you're feeling is real. Now, what the difference is, it may not be a real emergency, but what you're feeling is real. And I just want people, like, Coi Leray made that song because I have anxiety. My husband heard that song. He's like, call me. He was like, somebody made a song about anxiety. I'm like, what? Shut the fuck up. Let me go find this song. And I listened to it. And I'm like, I feel that shit. Like, I felt Coi Leray on that song like you feel Rick Ross going down the interstate, because Rick Ross, I swear to God, make you feel like you're the best, baddest dope dealer on earth, right? It's just motivation. It's crazy. And that's how that song, because I'm like, oh, someone used their platform to speak about anxiety, and I think that was pretty dope, because a lot of people are afraid to talk about it because they don't want to get shunned, or they don't want to be put into this box, and I don't think it's about any of that. So I wanted to, talk about it because, as a mother, as a wife, as a business owner, because I still get shit done. I still cook for my family. You know, I still make sure my daughter's hair is combed and, you know, they're ready for school and their schoolwork get done and the house is clean, you know, but I struggle through that shit. But I get it done, you know, nonetheless. So, like, don't treat people with anxiety or depression like they're monsters, because they're not, or because they don't think like you or don't process things like you. Don't mean we ain't shit. You know, I have a degree. I went to college, a damn good one at that. Got student loans to speak on it, but it doesn't make me exempt from anxiety. It doesn't, you know, I got an A+ in critical thinking, but I can't figure this shit out by myself. And I'm okay with saying that. I'm okay with saying that, you know, I have anxiety and some days I'm not okay. I'm not suicidal. I'm not a maniac. I'm not, you know, in this grave depression to where I feel like my life isn't worth living, because I think life is beautiful. And I'm actually more afraid of losing my life, you know, from a sickness or whatever, than anything. So it's, you know, people who put you in that kind of box, like, that's fucked up. Like, fuck those people, because they don't understand you. And people who don't understand things, you know, they're afraid. And that's the true definition of ignorance. Like, you guys should try to understand anxiety and depression before you judge somebody. I've never been diagnosed with depression because I've always been in high spirit and wanted to live or wanted to do things, just had a fear. Like, I got a new car last month and my husband was like, you legit should have just did Uber, because I barely drive it, and when we go somewhere I'm asking him to drive because I'm afraid to drive, or God forbid, go to the store by myself. Like, I don't leave the house by myself. And I'm like, this is crazy. It's crazy that I feel this way. And I know I'm not the only one. So, like I said, you guys, like, subscribe, comment below. Let's have a conversation. Like, I want this to be like a no judgment zone. Like, so if anyone's judging or making like crazy comments, you will be blocked, because this is for people to feel safe, not feel judged, not you know, not just something different than what the rest of the world gives you. Like, I'm not on social media. Like, that shit is for the birds. Like, and I'm not judging anyone who's on like platforms, but for me, I think if you have anxiety, that makes it worse, because you're putting yourself in the position to always be ridiculed, always be judged, always be in the spotlight. So any imperfections that you see, I think it heightens your anxiety. So I think falling back from anxiety, not from anxiety, but from social media will help a lot of people. I read a lot. That kind of gets your mind off of things. And I bury myself in work. And I'm not saying that's the best thing to do, but financially, it's worked out. You know, it's worked out. So just try some other avenues to help get yourself out of this, and hopefully we can talk to each other and kind of help each other. Like I say, comment below. I'll be reading the comments all night. You know, I'll be replying. Just I think just giving support and helping, you know, I think could really genuinely save lives. There's so many young people committing suicide today, and I think it's because no one wants to shut the fuck up and listen. Like, I listen to my kids. They'll drive the shit out you, but I listen because you don't know their thought process. You might think, oh, I have the happiest kids because we went to Disney World and they go to the beach, or whatever the case may be, and your kid and is struggling. They're struggling. You have to watch for the signs and pay attention. So pay attention to your kids, pay attention to your strong friends, as they say, because my family can call me for anything and I won't go. But I'm struggling through getting it done. And I come home and I soak in my oils, you know. Some people smoke. I don't smoke because whoever I bought the weed from will be in jail because I'm a hypochondriac. Then if I feel one thing off, I'm going to the emergency room and they're going to ask me where I got it from, and everybody so, you know, that works for some people, but just not for me. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I you know, go in the sun with no shoes on, and I, you know, plant myself to the earth, and I pray, and I take long baths in oils, and I haven't got what it's called meditating down pack. So I ain't gonna lie, I don't meditate, but I just sit there in my thoughts and try to figure some shit out on my own in the dark, and that really brings me peace. It really, really does. And just reflecting and self-reflection is big for me. So like I said, comment below. We'll answer some questions. See you guys on the next video.